Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Rookie Roost. Sorry it's been a couple weeks. I was pretty messed up. In the last video, I was in the starting stages of a flu, which took full effect the day after. And just as I was recovering from the flu, I went in for some oral surgery, which laid me out for about 4 days, which was actually kind of nice. I was able to relax for a little bit. But obviously I got no work done in the house for like a solid week and a half, so here I am back at it again. We'll get back into the weekly videos, maybe even more, because now I have a lot more time on my hands. So if you're new here, I'm Sean. Thanks for checking out the channel. In this series, we just follow the build week by week as things happen. So this week, my plan is just to get the house set up into a little bit more of a livable situation so that I can spend more time here and less time spent driving back and forth from the place I'm living to here. So I'm setting up a few creature comforts and some stuff to keep me entertained when I want to take a bit of a break, and the ability to store a little bit of food here, which will save me a lot of time. And by moving this kind of stuff in, it actually gives me a much better idea of how to use the space, which will be good to know as I kind of go forward with especially the electrical system, figuring out exactly where I'm going to want my light switches and my outlets, things like that. So that's where we're at today. In the last video, I installed this thing. There's some stuff I want to do about that. It's not perfect, but it's a good starting point, and now I have a better idea of how to do it properly. This is something I've needed to address for a while. I'm going to take off the weather proofing that I've kind of put on the door here, because it makes it so the door doesn't really shut that easily. At least I hope that's the reason it's not shutting easily. Nothing to do with the door expanding more. It's just not good. Well, looks like I'll be repainting. Oh yeah, I will be repainting. Hopefully that's all it was. No. Okay, so the door actually has a legitimate problem going on here. I'm guessing it's just the bottom has expanded again. It's definitely the bottom of the door. I just expanded some more, so I'm going to have to plane it down once again. I don't have the plane here, so it's a job for another day. So in an effort to make this place a little bit more comfortable and have a bit more options for stuff like my computer and recording gear and a game console and whatever, they have some stuff to do, I bought a little wire rack from Home Depot. Is there anything I can do to avoid having to go to my regular house or a friend's house or whatever to be able to do things is a bonus. The more I can do here, better. Do I own a knife? I think in general I do want to go with wire racking to hold the components in here, because some of that stuff gets pretty hot, but I want to have it fairly condensed, so I need as much airflow around all of it as possible. So I'm checking out this Home Depot wire racking stuff because I may be able to modify it and include it into whatever eventual setup ends up over here. Screw bottom pole C into top pole D. Does that mean this thing can be only half as high if I really wanted it to be? Because that would be kind of convenient. They really went the extra mile to make sure you don't need tools to do this, which is a little weird for a place that sells tools. I'm really glad that I can build this thing shorter than the description on the website, because if I have to put these on, it would have ended up taller than this, and then I would have had to put it on the side, I couldn't go underneath. This is perfect height, so pretty happy about that. But if I was going to use this long term, I'd probably end up attaching these as well, maybe cutting them in half, buying some more of these shelves to go in it and tightly pack them in and literally just put enough space in there for whatever components I put in the unit. And it would just be part of the overall cabinet or desk, whatever I end up putting here. I regularly play a game called Destiny. Destiny 2 is coming out pretty soon, which I'm pretty excited about. And it's quite often the only time that the group that I play with, there's 6 of us, can get on the weekend. Well, the weekend is when I am working on the tiny house for the most part. So it would be nice if I could take an hour or two just in the middle of the day when everyone else is kind of ready to play for a bit, and just take a break from the house, jump on the Xbox, and then resume the house without having to drive 40 minutes home and 40 minutes back just to do it, which I haven't done because that would be ridiculous. So fortunately there's internet access here now, and I can actually do that, so I have time to enjoy my hobbies while constructing the house. keeping myself sane. I've also brought my regular computer so that I can do some proper video editing, or at least a little bit more efficient video editing while I'm here. So I've got these little satellite speakers. It's actually a part of like a computer speaker system made by Logitech. I've had this thing for like, I don't know, 15 years. It's been a long time. That's probably a lie, but it's been a very long time. I'm gonna hook up two of them. It's actually a surround system, and they're pretty small. The only part that's kind of dumb about the system is the sub is freaking huge. That's the sub. Massive. Anyways, these things have little holes in them, so I'm just gonna mount them to the walls, which I think will work out pretty good. Eventually I'm gonna have 3 monitors in here, a bigger one in the middle and 2 on the sides. I normally have a dual monitor setup for my computer, and I want to maintain that, but I also have a bit of a video game habit, so it's nice to have both the dual monitor setup plus a third screen so that I can play a game or whatever. I do a lot of weird video stuff. So the one in the middle is going to be a 27-inch. These are like 20-inch TVs, I think. And it's going to be able to extend out so that when you're sitting on the couch on the other side of the room, you bring it a little closer and you can watch movies or whatever on the a bit bigger of a screen. I was toying around with the idea of doing like a projector that can come down from here, and might even still do that and have like 4 screens in one tiny little room for, you know, the big movie nights or whatever. But we'll see. That's something that would come much later. For now, let's get this on the wall. It's gonna go on just like that. That doesn't seem very stable. They're just like rubber. I don't know, it's rubber. It's not good. I may want to figure out a better way to mount these. I think they're supposed to be mounted like this, because then, you know, the pressure just goes onto that. But I don't want to do it that way. At least not yet. I'll probably end up doing it that way. No, I will end up doing it that way when I actually go to install them properly, but right now, obviously, that's not going to work. Well, I could put a block in there and mount them to the block, but that will do. They'll hold. So the reason I said I'm going to have more time to make videos and might start putting out more than one video a week is because I quit my full-time job. I still have my part-time job, and I make just enough money at that job, with a few modifications to my lifestyle, to be able to just maintain. And then I made enough money at the last job, hopefully to carry me through to the completion of the house. And as I ramp up YouTube, maybe I can start generating a bit of an income online, especially through Patreon contributions. So exciting, accelerated times ahead. Audio's kind of my thing, so I get pretty particular about how it sounds. I may not stick with this system ultimately in the tiny house, but it'll certainly do for now. I'm going to make sure that the setup is flexible enough to accommodate new speakers, should I choose to change them. Well, that was a successful first test. So I really want to get this stuff all done in here so that I can put the floor back on and kind of get over this part for a little while. So I'm working on getting the cold water into the water heater. So let's get crimping. I'm not gonna fully kind of plug that SharkBite connector in. SharkBite connectors don't need to be like twisted on or anything, they literally just plug in. And these little connectors came with the water heater, so I'm guessing I have to use these ones. I just want to do a little bit of a reading on them before I really do that. And these are just kind of like loosely attached on here as well. I don't think they need Teflon tape because they've got rubber in there, so I think that's all you need. I'm just gonna loosely attach it all and kind of call it done. This one goes to the water heater, which I just installed. Forgot a spoon, so I solved the problem for at least 10 more forgetting spoons. I've been eating nothing but applesauce and mashed potatoes for like a week and a half. Almost to the end. So I've been working on the hot water line now, so the hot water comes out of there, runs into this little thing, and from here it's going to follow the cold water around to the bathroom, and from down here I've got it going underneath the water heater with the cold water line that goes in the opposite direction, comes down around here, goes around the corner, and then we'll come up and meet up with the cold water that will come up from here, go through the wall there, and then come out below where the sink is going to be, which is right below this window. Just put an elbow here to go straight through the wall, get a little piece of blue coming up here, elbow straight into the wall. And so this will have to poke up through the floor that will go on here. So I'm just going to notch the floor out a little bit. Something like that. So I'm gonna wrap this all in, like, you know, tube insulation or whatever to keep the hot water from actually touching the cold water lines. But I don't have that stuff yet, so later. I've got two different kinds of these bender things, these elbows that you can make the pecs go through, and the metal kind is actually too sharp of an angle, I guess. It's nice in that it's compact and it gives you a nice 90-degree angle, but it kinks the hose, so it's kind of defeating the purpose of making a nice gradual bend. So plastic ones, the big plastic ones, probably the way to go. So for now I've done everything under here that kind of needs to get done at the moment. Propane's all hooked up, water's all hooked up. I can carry on with these systems with the floor back in place. So I'm gonna get the floor back in place, and I gotta notch out a little bit of the floor for this, so let's do that. I was actually going to leave this for tomorrow, but I'm uploading a video right now, and it's taken a really long time. It's only a 2-minute video, but the internet's kind of slow here. Well, there it is. Still solid. So the main reason I wanted to get this floor back on is because this is where the fridge goes, and I'm actually picking the fridge up tomorrow. So I'm going to try to keep the vlog posts to about 10 minutes long, and if that means uploading several a week, then so be it. And that's probably the way it's going to go anyway, because I'm going to be here more often, working on it more, which means more footage, which means more vlog posts. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and leave a comment, and subscribe if you're new here. And if you want access to some more exclusive content, check out my Patreon down below. For $1 a month, you can get bonus behind the scenes stuff, and it really helps me out. Anyways, I will see you next time at The Roost.